Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Tim is a retirement and income specialist, certified financial fiduciary, and founder of SafeMoneyRetirement.com, primarily serving Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southwest Virginia. But he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Wood is a licensed life insurance professional in multiple states and specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who are already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies. And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Tim Wood.
Thank you for joining me this week. I'm Tim Wood, host of Safe Money Retirement Radio. I specialize in asset and retirement protection and income planning. I'm sure my listeners today are familiar with the old English proverb, you can't have your cake and eat it too. That saying means that once you eat your cake, it's gone. So therefore, you no longer have a cake. In short, it means you can't have it both ways. The earliest recorded use of this saying was in a letter from Thomas, Duke of Norfolk, to Thomas Cromwell, Earl of Essex, in 1538. The history lesson points out that some of the things we say are based on steadfast and ancient beliefs that we tend not to question. Now, what if I was to tell you that most of you could have your cake and eat it too when it comes to risk and safety with your retirement money? In other words, being safe with your money and taking risks do not have to be oil and water. Let's take a quick test to help me illustrate how being safe with your money and taking risks with your money can work together. Here's the first question. If you were to wake up tomorrow and 50% of your money was gone due to a stock market crash, would that impact your retirement? Now, if you're younger than 45, you probably think, no problem, I have time to make up for it. But if you're one of my potential clients, which means you're typically age 45 and older, you probably don't like the idea of losing 50% of your retirement funds because you don't have time on your side. Nobody likes losing anything they worked hard for. So the second question is, can you recover from a loss? Did you know that if you experienced a 50% loss in your retirement funds, it would take you 11.9 years at a 6% annual compounded return to get back your losses? Now, did you hear that? That's 12 years. 12 years with an excellent return on your money while experiencing no additional losses to get back to where you were. Guess what? What are the chances of getting a 6% return for 12 years without experiencing another significant loss? Since we're talking about potential losses, let me quickly ask, what if you could avoid market losses and have interest credited based upon an external index with a fixed indexed annuity? Wouldn't it make sense to at least consider something that keeps you from going backwards in your retirement for some of your money? If you'd like to learn more, call for our complimentary Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success book and information kit at 844-905-SAFE. We would love to share this and many other resources without any obligation whatsoever. Now, let me ask you that first question again. If you were to wake up tomorrow and 50% of your money was gone due to a stock market crash, would that impact your retirement? But in this case, let's assume that you have guaranteed income payments that more than covers your cost of living. Let's say that between Social Security, pensions, rental property income, and annuity payments, you have more than enough to live on, and it's guaranteed for life. Now, if you were to lose 50% of your liquid assets that are not being used to provide you income, how would you feel about that? I think you will agree this is a completely different scenario. In the first example, you lost 50% of your money you counted on for retirement. In this last scenario, your income was adequate and guaranteed for your life, and you only lost 50% of the money not needed for your income. You know, I once heard someone explain the difference between a hazard and a risk, and they said it like this. Hazards are the sharks you spot in the ocean while standing on the shore. They become risks when you get into the water. When it comes to planning your income for life, market-based investments are hazards, but they only become a risk when you jump in the water by buying the investment. What if I was to tell you that you can jump in the water and swim with the sharks, but avoid the risk as it applies to your income floor? Now, what's an income floor? It's very simple. It's the least amount of income you need to live. From that income floor, subtract all your guaranteed income payments, Social Security, pension, annuity payments, property rentals, royalty income, and mineral, oil, and water right leases, or anything else that you've got that's a guaranteed income. Now, does all that income cover the minimum income you need? If not, you have what we call an income gap. If you do have enough income, have you also adjusted for inflation? Oops, you forgot that one, didn't you? Have you ever adjusted your gross desired income by even a 2% inflation rate? You might be surprised what impact that has. That's where I become the expert. I'm highly skilled at filling your income gap and creating laddered, inflation-hedged annuity income rider solutions that guarantee income for you and your spouse's life, no matter how long you live. If you like a pension and Social Security payment in your mailbox, you will also like getting a private pension. We have fixed index annuity solutions with great accumulation and guaranteed payout rates that you can never outlive. Why not give me a call now at 844-905-SAFE? Once we talk, we can determine if we should meet, but I must first determine your needs. When you call, make sure you ask for our Safe Money Retirement book and information kit, which we'll provide at our expense. My number again is 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Once I fill the gap in your income plan, make adjustments for inflation, and ensure you have adequate amount of funds for emergencies, what do you have left? If the remaining retirement funds are not needed for emergencies or income, do you need to play it safe with the money outside of your emergency and income plan? Well, that's entirely up to you, but technically you can afford to risk some of your money for the hypothetical potential of more significant gains. I'm not here to tell you to do that, but if you do decide to take on risk, then at least you know you will never live below a required amount of income. Now, I hope that makes sense to you. I'm sure it does. I hope you've enjoyed Safe Money Retirement Radio this week. Unfortunately, we're out of time today. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe while avoiding market loss so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Tim Wood now for your complimentary Safe Money Retirement book and information kit at 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Or contact him online at safemoneyretirement.com. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base annuity contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Listeners should be aware of IRS penalties for withdrawing funds from an annuity before age 59 and a half. Fees may apply. Annuity guarantees are based on the insurance company's financial strength and claims-paying ability. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are taking just the first step towards protecting your retirement. It is important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice. Are you age 59 and a half or older and still working? Did you know that you may be able to move some or all of your retirement money to an individual retirement account without any taxes? Why keep your money in your employer's plan with management fees, exposure to significant market risk, and limited options for guaranteed lifetime income that you cannot outlive? What will happen to your plan at work if the market crashes? Call Tim now for retirement planning that will protect what you've worked so hard for and create a retirement that is safe and secure. Call 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233.